Welcome into the Snapped Podcast, my personal audio journal. My name is Tyler Kluver. I'm a personal trainer and podcaster, but it gets a little bit deeper than that, and this show is going to give you an inside look on my thoughts concerning health and fitness, business, mindset, and creating the life that you feel lucky to live. I hope you enjoy the show. Sit back, relax, and let's have a day. All right, well, I just used the wrong intro for the podcast, but that's okay because I have not switched it up on the soundboard yet. So if you're watching the YouTube video, which is two of you, then congratulations, you got the old intro. But if you are listening to the podcast, then you got the new intro. So these last 45 seconds were basically pointless because all of you heard the correct intro. I'm a dumbass. Here we go. Today on the show, no one larger, bigger, specific topic. I want to talk about. This is going to be like a mini, little, quick 10-minute episode. Three things that I think are vitally important when it comes to establishing what I like to call like your baseline health. Right? I don't know how to really quantify it. Three simple things that can keep you in a routine and give you a ton of bang for your buck. Okay? Again, no life update here, no real crazy thing. Uh Three things that I think and that I have used recently to really help me with my fitness and health. One is, and I know I talked about this on a podcast, probably a couple months ago, but sunlight is so big. And I don't have all of the fancy science to back it up. I'm sure you could go find those podcasts where you could find the exact reason why getting sunlight, getting vitamin D is so beneficial for you. Off the top of my head, I know that a lot of the people that I respect and that I listen to are um, essentially treat vitamin D, or maybe it just is. I'm not exactly sure, but people basically talk about it as like it's a hormone. Like it's not a vitamin. The way it functions in the body is a hormone. And let's see, the stat I heard yesterday was something like 75 or 80% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. That's not good. You know how many things vitamin D regulates in your body? Let's actually just pull it up real quick. Um, all right. Vitamin D is, just type in vitamin D regulates blank, and you're gonna come up with like 40 articles from Science Direct and uh, Science Daily and the National Institute of Health and all this stuff about why vitamin D is important. So don't take my word for it. Take the experts' words for it. What I do know is this: the anecdotal data is unbelievable. I'm actually going to do this the minute I get done recording this podcast. I took a little stroll up the stairs to throw away a bottle of Under Armour or Body Armor I was drinking, and noticed how sunny it was. And I was like, damn, I cannot waste this day. I need to go out and go for a walk and just listen to podcasts. I'm going to either consume content in here in the basement with no sunlight, or I'm going to go and consume content out on a walk with the sunlight. The sun will literally leave you buzzing. Um, it boosts your energy, it boosts your mood. It just feels good. And there's a reason for that. It's like it's our body reacting to something that is very, very positive for us and that it wants more of. The other thing about the vitamin D is that the vitamin D that you get through food and the vitamin D that you get through supplementation in the form of vitamin D tablets, which I take as well, right? It's not going to lower your vitamin D levels. Um, they are not nearly as good as vitamin D that you soak up from the sun. The absorption levels are like 10 or 20x from the sun what it would take for you to absorb the same amount through a supplementation or through your diet. Doesn't mean that it's not important to eat foods that have vitamin D in it or supplement a little bit, especially in the winter months when you can't get outside. Living here in Iowa, that is an issue. So that's why I take the supplement as well. But getting outside is ultra important. As a guy, I have the luxury of taking my shirt off and just walking around in shorts. Girls can't exactly do that, but you could go out in a tank top or, something that's as classy as you can make it, right, in the summer and get as much skin contact with the sunshine as possible. Literally, a 10-minute walk in the sunshine will change your life if you can implement that every single day. Number 2 of the current tips or tricks of, keeping a routine baseline sort of health picture is advice for the days you simply don't want to. And I talked about this in a podcast that I did with my buddy Justin, who I've mentioned on the show before. He is the one who I've run races with in the past, a friend from here in town. And this came up in a conversation with him, and it's not always pertinent to my life because I live a very privileged life for whatever reason. I wake up every day and don't have to go clock in for the man. I don't have hard, um, absolute times where I have to be somewhere, or I have to be there for somebody, or I have to be at a meeting, or all this different shit. Um, so in my life right now, I do not experience the feeling of um, undesirable circumstances too much. However, that doesn't mean I'm just completely void of them. Every once in a while, there is something that I have to do, just like anybody else in this world, that is like, shit, I really don't want to do that. And when it comes to fitness and health, which is obviously what this podcast is about, even then, even with the amount that I work out, which is far exceeds what most people experience in their daily life, right? Most people are just trying to get 30 or 45 minutes or maybe an hour in per day, right? Um, at the level at which I'm working out 3 hours a day, there does come a couple times during the week, usually in the morning, where I'm not real motivated to go down into the garage, and the exercise, more so the training is really what it is for me, is a chore. It is work. It's not I would not classify some of those sessions as I'm doing this because I want to, or I'm doing this for fun. Um, and that's the way it is sometimes, especially when you're approaching a sport or some sort of training as a professional, as someone who is doing it for goals that are not just general health and fitness, general enjoyment. There's going to be days where it feels like work. And I've gotten to that point in my training where there are 1 or 2 days a week that feel like that. Am I still absolutely privileged, blessed, fortunate, whatever you want to, hashtag blessed, however you want to describe it, that's the problem in my life. Like that's a first world problem of, oh, well, the thing that you don't want to do is work out for an extra third hour past the 2 hours that you already enjoy. Yeah, it's a completely relative level of issue compared to others who are they don't want to go work their third job because they're trying to support their family or some dire situation like that. I totally understand the privilege. Nonetheless, it still plays. And the mindset shift is go 1 for 1. What does that mean? If I wake up and it's one of those mornings, today was one of them. It's one of those mornings where I just don't want to go down and sit on the rower, right? I just don't want to go do the bike intervals. I don't want to lift the weights. I don't want to run, whatever it may be. Decide right there that there's a reason that this is on your schedule. You chose to do this, right? Some of you maybe not on the choosing side of things. Regardless, it has to be done for you to be better, or maybe for some of you with your specific issue, it has to be done for you to make more money. It has to be done for you to keep your job. It has to be done because it's just what you do as a parent or a partner, or whatever the situation may be. Know that the outcome, the result, is a net positive for you, and decide right now that, okay, I don't want to do this, but this specific instance or situation or individual 1 hour of work or whatever I have on my plate is not the important part. The important part is the result. And I do want XYZ result. I do want to see XYZ progress. I do want the promotion. I do want whatever. And put that priority on the conscious mind. And with that priority at the helm of your decision making, you now know I either do this and I do the shitty thing that I don't want to do and it takes me closer to that final goal, or I don't and it takes me further away. It holds me back. And that makes the decision to go down and start moving and stretching in the gym to get your workout going, the decision to put in the extra time on your side hustle that you're trying to get your side business going, the play catch in the yard with your fucking son or daughter because that's what being a better parent might look like. That makes the solo vacuum situation a whole lot easier to get up to do. Just go 1 for 1. And then the goal is how many times in a row can you go for 1 for 1? And then you look back after doing that and you're like, wow, I've went 1 for 1 in the last 75 decisions I've had to make that were not necessarily something that I wanted to do, but I did them anyway. And that makes you a better person. So that's number 2. And number 3 is workout specific. And I heard this on Mind Pump. I've been really getting into their podcast recently. It's a podcast I've known about for years, but never really got into. And as part of my own personal research to further my knowledge as a fitness coach and health professional, why not listen to them? They're the number 1 fitness podcast in the world. They literally say it at the beginning of each show. And it was the idea of breaking up your desired total volume into a higher frequency so that you don't have to get hit with a bunch at once, right? What does that mean? Say you're trying to get 2 or 3, let's just, for instance, say you're trying to get 2 hours of exercise in each week, right? And for a lot of people, they're going to immediately jump to, okay, the best way to do that is probably 2 days at the gym for an hour, or maybe 3 days at the gym for 40 minutes. The studies show, based on what the guys on Mind Pump said, that you are you are just as likely or potentially in a better spot progress wise, gains wise. Let's say you're doing a bunch of resistance training during those 2 hours of exercise over the course of a week. You are more likely to see better gains if you were to break those sessions up into 6 20-minute sessions instead of 2 60-minute sessions, right? Now, what does this allow you to do? Well, a lot of people don't have an extra hour per day. I don't know about a lot of people. I think if people audited their actual schedule, they could probably find an hour. But some people don't have an extra hour, or it makes it tight for them to spend an extra hour per day, or on a specific day. So you probably got 20 minutes. So use that 20 minutes. Do the same amount at the end of the week net result, right? For instance, if you're gonna over the course of those 2 hours hit 6 exercises, maybe 10 exercise, let's say 10 exercises for 3 sets each. That's 30 sets total. Well, now over the course of 6 days, you could do 1 or 2 exercises a day, 5 sets combined in that 20 minutes. You're actually more likely to see slightly better gains, or at least the same amount of gains by doing that, even though they're just 20-minute workouts. And the benefit is now you don't have to fit a 60-minute session into your day. You can just find 20 minutes a day, and the sustainability, the routine is much more likely to be held on to by doing smaller sessions. So it's a way for people who are looking at these longer periods of time in the gym that are daunting to them mentally and physically to say, okay, spread your energy and your time out a little bit and do smaller sessions, and you're actually going to get the same or better results. It's actually genius. Now, for someone like me, this doesn't work, right? There's a required amount of training each day that has to be done. But for someone who's just trying to meet the minimum effective dose of trying to be healthy and fit, 20 to 30 minutes a day, man. I'm telling you, it's the key. You're keeping it to a minimum of how much is going to burn you out. It's not going to be a super large thorn in this in the rows of your schedule, and you're going to see results. It's going to be beneficial for your body. So sunlight, going 1 for 1 on decisions you don't necessarily want to make, and breaking your workouts into smaller, more frequent bouts. Those are the 3. Hope you took away something from this podcast. Glad you guys are tuning in to Snapped each and every week. Appreciate you guys for coming back. I love doing this thing. It's a personal creation project / audio journal, and just sort of my exploration through health and fitness as I continue living as a human on this earth with the passions of diet, nutrition, health, fitness, lifting, all that stuff. So thank you guys so much. We will talk again next week. Until then, peace.